Good morning, Dr. Gary here on the road. We are dental practice brokers and we sell dental offices nationwide. Today's topic is seller beware when offered an outrageous sale price. We'll get into that today. So as you know, we're now in 28 states around the country. We have 10 employees, including 2 CPA accountants, and we're available to you 24/7 just about, from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. East Coast time. Now, the phone number to reach us is 201-663-0935, and the phone number that's our main phone number. You can always reach us. And we're available to you 363 days a year. We take off Christmas and Easter, but we are available to you. Now, the website is dentalpracticeguide.com or nationwidedentalpracticebrokers.com. So you can reach us. We have a lot of valuable information there. We're always adding new content, and I think you could see that. Plus, we now have 315 or whatever YouTube videos. And I think it's called drgarysvideos.com. Also, you can look up on YouTube, Sell Your Dental Practice, Dr. Gary Sell Your Dental Practice. Check that out. Now, the information we're sharing with you today is for entertainment purposes only. It's not legal or business advice. All right? If you're thinking about selling to the DSOs, we're very familiar with all of them. We sell to them. They will often pay our commission, so there'll be no commission to you. And when you work with us, we could sometimes get your legal fees reimbursed upon successful closing, depending on certain criteria. But we've done that a number of times, that all the legal fees are reimbursed to the seller upon successful closing for the larger deals, the DSOs generally. So as far as what happened just recently, there's a certain level of a range that this is on a DSO purchase of a very large practice. There's a certain range that the well-financed, solid DSO will purchase. And recently I had one that I had about three DSOs that went to visit this one office or examined it. It was a multi-million-dollar office doing a lot of, general dentistry, but doing quite a bit of some work, specialty type of work. Then all of the companies came and gave a range of purchase price approximately based on some of the information they gave us, a range that they thought the practice would sell for based on a factor, the EBITDA, which is your earnings and so forth. It's your net profit with the doctor's salary factored back then, called EBITDA. Now, all 3 companies, which are large DSOs, these are well-funded, very organized, been in the business a long time. All 3 of them looked at the practice and said the range that they would give. And the seller said, that's not enough. I've been offered a lot more. And we responded, you may be offered more, but will this company be there post-closing, for the next several years? Don't forget, I bring companies that made it through 2008, DSOs that made it through the 2008 problems, recession, and they made it through the pandemic. These are solid companies. So they're the kind of companies I want to send to you. I don't want to often deal with the one-off companies that have very few practices as far as DSOs go. So this doctor interviewed all 3 of the DSOs, and they gave us somewhat of a rough range, depending on the data that they handed in, and it wasn't sufficient. Well, the doctor wound up selling the offices. When you sell for, so to speak, a factor of EBITDA, it's usually 5 EBITDA, 6 EBITDA, sometimes like maybe 7. But the doctor sold for 10.7x times EBITDA. That's pretty outrageous. That is a very high number and possibly unsustainable. I can't believe they spent that much money. And the deal actually went to closing. It's something they wouldn't predict normally under normal circumstances, wouldn't sell for that dollar amount. Now, the one wise thing that this doctor did was they got a significant amount of down payment money. So if you're going to get these outrageous numbers, I'm not saying it's still not out there, but it's a lot less in 23. I think that doctor finished up his work in 22. So still got sort of in under the wire where money was still available at a reasonable price, somewhat reasonable price. Now it's gotten very expensive. But the doctor sold it for like 10.6, 10.7 times EBITDA, which is pretty outrageous. You do worry about prices like that because you think it's unsustainable. And then you made this great sale. What happens the next following years? And you were expecting to work there and earn some monies. And all of a sudden, they're falling apart. That's why you try to get as much money down payment as you can. That's the one thing doctor did that was wise. They got, a good percentage down payment. So if all went south, so to speak, they could still have their, the bulk of their money. And that's kind of what happened. I was happy to hear that, happy to listen to my advice to get as much down payment as possible. And that's what he did. So outrageous numbers, yeah, they're still out there. But the rule is get as much down payment as you can. When everybody else walks away and somebody comes up, I guess they think they're the smartest guy in the room. You always be careful of those people. Just stay away from that because that's going to run into big problems. Really big problems. Eventually. That's what my analysis is. I may be wrong. It's possible. But my analysis is big trouble's heading in the future for this one doctor. He should just be smart enough to hold on to his high down payment and then hope for the best. Okay, thank you for listening. We have more information coming soon, more practices for sale. And we're getting them weekly now. So we're trying to get the newsletter out as soon as possible. Occasionally we get a practice that wants to sell immediately and does a drastic reduction. We just sent out an email of like 5 of them with drastic reductions. Please read that. All right. Thank you. Bye.